October 31st, 1999. EgyptAir Flight 990 departs from New York's JFK Airport, bound for Cairo. 217 souls aboard. Just 33 minutes later, the Boeing 767 plunges into the Atlantic Ocean. What caused the sudden dive? Was it a tragic mechanical failure, or something more chilling, a deliberate act of destruction from within the cockpit? This is the story of EgyptAir 990, and the mystery still dividing two nations. The enigmatic EgyptAir Flight 990. Was it suicide or failure? It was Halloween night, 1999, a routine flight, clear skies, and no signs of trouble. But within an hour, EgyptAir 990 would become one of the most controversial aviation disasters in modern history. American investigators would point to one explanation, the Egyptian government a completely different one. And in the middle were 217 families left without answers. In this episode, we unravel what really happened aboard Flight 990 and why the truth may never fully surface. Flight 990 was operated by a Boeing 767-300ER. It took off at 1:20 a.m. Eastern Time with 203 passengers and 14 crew members. About 33 minutes into the flight, cruising at 33,000 feet, the plane suddenly began a rapid, nose-down descent. It dropped over 14,000 feet in just 36 seconds. The first officer, Gamil al-Bachuti, was in the cockpit at the time. The captain had briefly left to use the restroom. What happened next would spark decades of debate. The cockpit voice recorder captured chilling words. "I rely on God," said in Arabic. Repeated moments before the descent began, the National Transportation Safety Board led the investigation with black box data and radar evidence. Their conclusion: the descent was caused by deliberate actions of the relief first officer, al-Bachuti, an apparent pilot, suicide. The aircraft had no signs of mechanical failure. The engines were manually shut down. The control inputs were consistent with intentional action, but Egypt strongly rejected this. The Egyptian Civil Aviation Authority claimed a mechanical issue, specifically, a problem with the elevator control system had caused the crash. Two governments, two investigations, two different truths. Why would an experienced pilot bring down his own aircraft? Some reports suggested al-Bachuti was recently reprimanded by Egypt and was banned from flying to the US again after this flight. Others point to personal distress or cultural misunderstandings about the phrase, "I rely on God," which in Egyptian Arabic may not indicate fatal intent, but critics argued that motive or not. The evidence clearly showed intentional control input to initiate and maintain the dive. The disagreement wasn't just technical, it became deeply political. EgyptAir 990 remains one of the few aviation disasters where national investigations reached conflicting conclusions. Out of respect and diplomacy, the NTSB labeled the crash as a loss of aircraft due to uncommanded flight control inputs, avoiding directly stating suicide. No criminal charges, no final closure, just theories and grief. To this day, no official statement from Egypt accepts the suicide theory, and for the families, that leaves a wound still open. Was it mechanical failure, a final act of defiance, or a tragic misunderstanding that spiraled into geopolitical tension? Whatever the truth, EgyptAir Flight 990 remains one of aviation's most haunting mysteries. Not because of what we know, but because of what we can't agree on. If this story left you thinking, like, comment, and subscribe to Untold Story of World for more real-life mysteries and hidden truths they never taught in school. Do you believe it was pilot suicide or something else entirely? Comment below.